Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another Real Review. Once again, I am Matt, and thank you for joining me today. Listen, I loved F1. You can go watch that review right now. This movie, I have a much more complicated relationship with because, well, it's partly not as advertised. Depending on what advertisements you've seen, you've either seen this promoted as an action film or based on some social media ads you've seen it promoted as a horror film. Now, that being said, there's another famous franchise that went from horror to action, and that would be the Terminator franchise. However, this is not the Terminator franchise. This is Megan. Uh, with that being said, however, I did not really care for Megan 2.0. I felt like I was sold an action comedy when the reason people care about this character is it was started as a horror franchise. And let's be honest, we've never really known Blumhouse to be the type to do horror comedies. Or not horror comedies, action comedies. Wow, my apologies. We've never really known Blumhouse to be the type to do action comedies. We've never known James Wan do much action outside of the Fast franchise. But here we are, Jason Blum and James Wan present to you a action comedy as a sequel to a very successful horror film that has a house for it at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. For fans who actually wanted to see this film and decided to go in blind, I feel like a lot are going to leave disappointed because they're probably expecting more of the same. Instead, you get a film that is more so about proving that everyone deserves a second chance, which that message I agree with. However, I feel like there was a way you could have told that story within a horror skin. And I think that's the biggest issue with Megan 2.0. I can understand subverting audience expectations and desires and wants and giving them something else. But when the something else is not even fun or necessarily good, that's kind of where things suck. I'm a big Allison Williams fan. I've been a fan of hers since not only Get Out, but I loved her when NBC did that Peter Pan live, as NBC tends to do those live action plays leading into the holiday season. But the first Megan, she was really good. In this, I don't know how, as smart as her character was, she's so freaking gullible in this film. I do enjoy the fact that they gave it a reason and made an excuse to work with the girl who did Megan, the body of Megan again. Like they made Megan taller and this that, like, okay, cool. You gave reasons to keep the band back together for the most part, essentially. But you didn't give me a compelling enough story to warrant watching the band back together. I feel like this is going to be very interesting because you're going to see how audiences and fans react to this film. And I don't know if it'll necessarily be a great reaction because the horror community, who is probably looking forward to this, and based on some of the poster marketing, you could assume that going back to the horror side of Megan. But audiences need to understand they're not. You're getting, uh, for lack of a better comparison, you're getting an action comedy version of T2 because that's seemingly what this is. And the plot is Megan's brought back and wants to show that she's more than just a killer robot. She wants to show that no matter what, she still understands her prime directive and she's going to protect Katie at all costs. That's the plot. That's a simplified plot because I feel like if I go into the deeper plot, it's going to end up spoiling some things for audiences around there who are excited for the action comedy side. And honestly, that is because the movie is super predictable. And I feel like if I dove more into it, I'd be doing it a disservice. With that being said, I am rating Megan a 2.0, just a straight up 2 out of 5. I did not have fun with it. I wanted to have fun with it. I was hoping for more of the same. And I say this because I watched Megan 1 for the first time before this film. I have taken the approach of avoiding trailers for the most part, unless you see me do a reaction on this channel or I see it in front of a film I go see. I, for the most part, avoided going to watch trailers now because I want to be able to judge a film based off its own merits. And even off its own merits, this is not something I would judge highly. With that being said, you can go watch my review for F1. It's on the channel right now. You can watch my review for the television series, the full series of Ironheart with special guest Amaru Moses. And come back and check out all the reviews coming out next week. Next week, Jurassic World. The week after that, Superman. Got a lot coming up. So, and also don't forget to check out our sister channel, What Real Gaming, where all of our Twitch streams go to live after the fact and become video on demand. Our partner, Taylor Cleeks, has done a great job running that channel. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/WhatRealEnt. And with that being said, signing off, I am Matt, and this is another Real Review. We'll see you next time.